I think it's just the fact that people don't like people who are different. You see it everywhere, like people don't like people because of their race, because of their religion. It's the same with what clothes you wear. I mean, anybody who wears an awful lot of black and a lot of black makeup and listens to the kind of music I listen to, we are going to get a stick from it. It's just because people want everybody else to be the same essentially, but it's not the case.
About 2000-2002 there was probably an issue between Neds and Goths. There's a lot of the sort of typical Ned young people hanging about in Coburn Street. Back then I think the young people that used to come up to the evening cafe were your sort of typical Neds, and from what I gather between speaking to both parties there probably was a lot of friction between both. Basically what 6VT does is it's a youth project, and we have a drop-in which is open 3 evenings a week. We also have lots of different projects that are open. We have a young offenders project, we also have a project for homeless people and young people who are looking to move out and get their own sort of tenancies. And there's also one-to-one support as well for young people.
The Youth Cafe is open for young people 3 nights a week to drop in, Monday, Wednesday and Fridays from 6 o'clock till 10 on a Monday and Wednesday, 10:30 on a Friday. And after the year we'll be opening our Saturdays again, but we're going to open that for all young people.
I'd probably label myself as a goth or an alternative.
I don't know, not goth. I went through a goth phase and then I went through a skater phase. All about within the same year, so I wouldn't class myself as anything.
I was probably labelled more of a chav than anything. I was always in my joggers and my hoodies, but I think again that was more the people I was hanging about with.
As a kid, I would probably label myself as neither Ned or goth.
When I was a kid, I was definitely a goth. I still am a goth. Like there's no other way around it. When I was 15, you know, I wore black. I listened to like bands from the 70s and the 80s that nobody had heard of. I dyed my hair crazy colours and I wore too much black makeup.
As a kid I would say I was like a trendy but like normal.
My opinion on Neds, I thought they were pretty scary because they always seem to want to start fights and stuff.
Neds were a danger when I was younger, definitely. Like everybody could probably say this, but you know, when you're a little bit different and you go out and you try to express yourself, like these people, they just can't comprehend or tolerate like the fact that you want to be a little bit different.
And my opinion on a goth is someone that wore chains, dressed with like black makeup on and loads of black clothes, probably leather.
My opinion on goths back then, I mean I didn't really know a lot of goths, you know, I mean I didn't think they were as big a group as they are now.
The way they dress is a little bit too like overdone basically, I would say. It depends, with all the makeup and stuff. That's probably for some of the reasons why Neds would usually lash out at a goth.
There was definitely big problems between my friends and Neds, like especially the Coburn Street kids. Like it seemed like we always got challenged by the Neds, if you know what I mean. There was always, every weekend there was some different group from like Niddrie or like Broomhouse or Granton or something coming down to see, and like, let's see how hard the goth kids are and beat the crap out of them.
I've heard that the goths from Coburn Street and the Neds like used to fight.
Back then there was a problem between goths and Neds. Like the Neds were always trying to pick fights with us because we all wore black or we had piercings or we spiked our hair and things.
To solve the differences between both parties, the Goths and the Neds as such, like I said, we opened up the Youth Cafe on a Friday initially for the Goths, and this was on a 12 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. I think on our first day we got between 90 and 100 young people, all from the sort of Coburn Street area.
We went a residential. We've had a couple of residentials which have been represented from both groups.
The Youth Cafe brings so many groups together, and it makes people more aware of other cultures, other groups. And I mean, it wasn't till the Youth Cafe, till I came up here, that I realised that what the Goths were all about.
The Youth Cafe helped a lot. I mean, one thing, there was, obviously it was one group of people that were in the Youth Cafe, but there was also some of the Neds would come up and they kind of realised that we were sound people. Like they would talk to us and realise that we were just the same as them.
I think the Youth Cafe did manage to break down a couple of barriers between us and like the so-called Ned youth. you know, they kind of amalgamated the two of us, but not in an extreme way. You know, like they would like hang around like in our slot, and we were like hang around in their slot, and they kind of started to realise that we do have common grounds, and you know, we're just all teenagers, and because our clothes were different, it didn't matter.
I believe they have done quite a lot actually, because it brings two of the cultures together at certain points throughout the week, because this place is shared by both Neds and Goths, just on different days. And there will be some days that you'll have a Ned and a Goth in the same room, and they will be eyeing each other up for giving each other all this and that. But they do they set up different kind of like games and stuff, and conversations where it involves both a Ned and a Goth to get together and discuss things over and give what their own opinions are face to face, and it actually does help.
I would say my opinion has changed a bit. I mean, they still annoy me, and some of them are still really kind of immature and going around looking for fights, but I mean, they're still the people at the end of the day. I mean, they just wear different clothes and listen to different music from us.
To a certain extent it has, but that's mostly down to maturity now, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm older now, I'm a bit wiser, and I'm a bit more tolerant to that kind of behaviour. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on any types of groups. I mean, people are who they are. I mean, I've got family members who are classed as Goths, and they're no different to anybody else. I mean, music and that, I mean, I don't understand why that's such a barrier between different groups.
My opinions on Goths now is pretty much there's not much change, to be honest. I think in the clothes section is a little bit too drastic, but for music I would say it's perfectly fine now, to be honest. I've not got really much problem. They like rock, and that's fair enough.
I think by having the two groups using our premises, we've helped to resolve differences by creating an understanding, by building friendships and relationships, by the very fact that the two groups can meet and there's not any fighting and some have become friends. That obviously is an impact, whether it's a tiny impact on individuals, that spreads out to other people. So I think for those people who had that experience, it was highly positive.
Yeah, there was a lot of barriers broken down from that residential, and as I said previously, I think the young people just realised that actually we're all just young people and we all are interested in very similar things out with music and fashion.
I don't think there's been anything that's changed my opinion of Neds. I think it's the fact that I've grown up more, and it's just the fact that I'm not living on the street, I'm not hanging out on the street all the time.
I think your opinion changes when you grow up. I think the more aware you are of a topic, the more your opinion is able to change, and the more you are around these problems that you can have, you know, a different opinion. You can change your opinion, you can sort your opinion out.
I think one of the things, looking back on that group, obviously everybody has matured now. People have grown up, and there is, you know, take away the fear once you get to know people. It's not there, and there's a sort of clearer clarity.
I think the problem between Neds and Goths is the fact that they're not as aware about, they don't know what each other are about at all. They don't give each other a chance. I mean, it's like looking at black and white, if you know what I mean. They don't like what they see, therefore that's it, conflict. They don't think about the person, it's what they wear. It's just because you're different. It's basically the difference is the problem.
Personally, I think it was their problem that they had with us. We didn't have a problem with them. As long as they stayed away from us and didn't cause us a problem, we would talk to them, but we wouldn't actually like hang about with them that much.
I think the problems probably arose from differences in clothing, music tastes, clubs.
I think both groups hate each other because of clothes and also a little bit to do with personality. And for example, as I said before, Neds like to lash out for no apparent reason, and that can be one of the main reasons why they always lash out at Goths for some reason, because of the way they look.
Because the trouble would be naivety, I think. Basically just people not understanding other people and not understanding why they wanted to dress that way, or why they wanted to listen to that music or kind of act the way that they do.